Okay, think about this for a second. You reach into your medicine cabinet, maybe for something like eye drops, right? Barely even think about it.
Happens all the time. Super routine.
Exactly. Well, that routine just got a bit disrupted for a whole bunch of over-the-counter eye care products.
That's right. And this isn't just a quick heads up. We're doing a deep dive today into a pretty significant nationwide recall. It involves several eye drop solutions that are, well, widely distributed.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that really makes you look twice at something you usually just take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been digging into the details. We looked at reports from WKRC and the Daily Mail Online, both published just yesterday, Sunday, May 11th, 2025.
And our goal here really is pretty straightforward but important.
We want to understand why this recall happened, what it could mean for you, the potential risks, and crucially, what steps you might need to take.
Right.
Okay, so let's get into it. This recall, who actually kicked it off?
It was announced by a company called BRS Analytical Service, LLC. And what's interesting right away is that it's a voluntary recall.
Voluntary, okay, so they're doing it proactively
Right.
at the consumer level.
Exactly. Which often suggests they're trying to get ahead of a potential problem,
Mm.
before it blows up.
And what prompted it? You mentioned it came up during an FDA audit, a U.S. Food and Drug Administration audit.
That's what the reports indicate, yes.
Yeah.
An FDA audit identified some issues.
Okay, so these audits, are they just like a standard thing, or does having an audit maybe suggest there were some flags already?
Well, FDA audits are definitely a standard part of the oversight process for pharmaceutical manufacturing. It's about ensuring safety and compliance.
Right.
But finding deviations during an audit,
Hmm.
that does signal that maybe the established quality control processes weren't being followed quite right, and that can trigger actions like this recall.
And the reason they gave was current good manufacturing practice deviations, CGMP.
Correct, CGMP deviations.
We hear that term CGMP quite a bit. What does that actually mean for someone listening at home? What does it boil down to?
Think of CGMP as the rule book for making medicines safely and effectively. It covers everything like how clean the facility is, how well the staff are trained, and making sure the ingredients are right, the packaging, all of it,
Whole 9 yards.
pretty much. And if companies don't stick to these rules really closely, it can, well, create risks, problems with the quality and safety of the final product.
So if they're not following these CGMP rules, what could actually go wrong with the eye drops themselves?
Oh, a range of things. The strength could be off, maybe the purity isn't right, or, and this is a big one for eye drops, contaminants could get introduced during manufacturing.
Yeah.
And that's the main worry here, stemming from these CGMP issues, a potential lack of sterility.
Sterility, right, that makes total sense. You absolutely need that for something going directly into your eye.
Exactly, it's critical.
Okay, so let's get really specific now because this is what people need to know. Which exact products are we talking about? Can you list them out?
Yes, absolutely. People need to check their bottles for these names and, very importantly, the NDC numbers. That's the National Drug Code.
Okay.
First is Artificial Tears Ophthalmic Solution, NDC number 50268043015.
Got it.
Then, carboxymethylcellulose sodium ophthalmic gel, 1%. That's NDC SHAG 50268066615.
Okay, gel 1%.
Also, carboxymethylcellulose sodium ophthalmic solution. So the solution version NDCC 50268066815.
Right.
Next, lubricant eye drop solution, NDC SHAG 50268120615.
Lubricant eye drops. Okay, so 5 specific products with those NDC codes. That's super helpful.
It's crucial to check those specific 11-digit codes on the packaging.
Definitely. Now, these weren't just made recently, right? What was the time frame? When were these actually being distributed?
Yeah, the distribution period was pretty long, actually. It ran from May 26, 2023, all the way up to April 20, 2025.
Wow, nearly 2 years.
Exactly. And the reports stress they were sold nationwide, so they could be anywhere in any state.
That really widens the net, means people need to check bottles they might have bought quite a while ago.
Precisely. That long time frame is key.
So let's talk about the core risk here.
Yeah.
What's the actual danger if someone uses one of these recalled drops without knowing?
The main concern, as we mentioned, is that lack of assurance of sterility, because those manufacturing standards, the CGMP, might not have been met.
Right.
There's a real chance the drops aren't sterile. And putting non-sterile stuff directly into your eye, that's where the danger lies.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of putting bacteria or something else directly onto your eye, it's not pleasant. What kind of health problems could that actually cause?
Well, using non-sterile eye drops carries a pretty significant risk of causing serious eye infections.
Serious.
It can range. Could be mild irritation, sure, but it could also lead to more severe infections. Things that might cause temporary vision problems or, in the worst case scenarios, even permanent blindness.
Blindness. Wow. Okay. That really drives home why sterility is non-negotiable for these products.
Absolutely. That's why this recall is being taken very seriously.
Now, thinking about the companies involved, we said BRS Analytical Service announced the recall, but who's actually, getting the word out? Telling stores and people?
That responsibility falls to AvCare. They're the distributor for these specific eye drops.
Ah, okay. AvCare.
Yeah, so they're the ones sending out the recall notices, dealing with pharmacies, retailers, and consumers. They're managing the whole recall process, essentially.
Got it. So AvCare handles the logistics, but BRS Analytical Service,
Hmm.
you said they're a testing lab. How did they fit into triggering this?
Right. BRS Analytical Service, LLC, is described as an independent contract testing laboratory. Their job is basically to test pharmaceutical products, make sure they meet the standards.
Okay.
So it was BRS that actually found these manufacturing deviations during that FDA audit we talked about.
Ah, so they flagged the issue.
Exactly. They identified the problem and then notified AvCare, the distributor, which then led to AvCare initiating this voluntary recall.
Okay, that connects the dots. So BRS found it, told AvCare, and AvCare started the recall. Makes sense. Now, we know which products and why. What about what they're actually for? Looking at the names, artificial tears, lubricant eye drops, sounds like they all do pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, based on those names, artificial tears, the carboxymethylcellulose ones, lubricant eye drops, polyvinyl alcohol, they all seem to be aimed at relieving symptoms of dry eye.
Dry eye.
Yeah.
Okay. For anyone maybe not familiar, what exactly is dry eye? Why would someone use these drops?
Sure. Dry eye is, well, it's a really common condition. It happens when your eyes either don't make enough tears or the tears you do make aren't the right quality. Maybe they evaporate too fast.
And that feels like.
It can cause a lot of discomfort, like a gritty feeling, burning, stinging, redness, sometimes sensitivity to light, maybe some mucus, blurred vision that might clear up when you blink, tired eyes, that sort of thing.
Sounds unpleasant.
It is. And these lubricating eye drops, the artificial tears like the ones recalled, they're designed to basically supplement your own tears and just soothe those symptoms.
Right. Provide some relief. And, it's interesting thinking of the timing. This recall is happening now in May 2025. For a lot of people, that's peak allergy season.
That's a really good point, actually. Allergy season can definitely play a role.
How so?
Well, allergies themselves can cause eye inflammation, which messes with tear production, but also think about allergy meds.
Ah, right. Antihistamines.
Exactly. Many over-the-counter antihistamines and decongestants. They have a known side effect of causing dryness, including dry eyes.
So allergy season hits, eyes get irritated, maybe you take an antihistamine, and that makes the dryness even worse, leading you to reach for eye drops more often.
Precisely. So it's possible people might be using these types of drops more frequently right now.
That definitely adds another layer of importance to checking your bottles. Now, one of the articles, I think it's the Daily Mail, mentioned this is a Class 2 recall, according to the FDA. What does that mean? How serious is Class 2?
Okay, so FDA recall classifications give an idea of the risk level. A Class 2 recall means that using the product might cause temporary health problems or problems that are medically reversible.
Okay, temporary or reversible.
Right, and the FDA considers the probability of serious adverse health consequences to be remote or low with a Class 2. It's less severe than a Class I recall, where there's a high risk of serious harm or death.
That offers a little bit of reassurance, I guess, but still, any risk of eye infection isn't something to ignore.
Absolutely not. Any potential risk to the eyes is taken seriously.
And crucially, at the time these reports came out yesterday, had anyone actually reported getting sick or having eye problems specifically from these recalled drops?
That's important, yes. According to the sources we looked at, as of their publication, there were apparently no reports yet from consumers linking adverse health events directly to these specific recalled AvCare distributed eye drops.
Okay, so no reported injuries yet, but the potential for harm is there because of the sterility concern.
Exactly. That potential risk is why they're doing the recall proactively.
Right. Okay, so bottom line, someone's listening, they go check their bathroom cabinet, and, they find one of these bottles. What should they do? Right now.
First thing, absolutely most important, stop using it. Immediately. Don't put any more of those drops in your eyes.
Stop using. Got it. Then what? Do they just throw it away?
Well, BRS Analytical Service has specific instructions. They're asking people if they got a recall notice to fill out the quantity to return part and their customer info,
Okay.
and then send that completed notice back to them, either by fax, the number is 931-292-6229, or by email to customer service at avcare.com.
Fax or email. And what if you don't have the bottle anymore? Like, you used it up or tossed it already?
They actually say to send the information back even if you don't have the product anymore.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
It probably helps them track the distribution and understand how widespread the issue was, get a better picture.
Okay. And if you do still have the bottle, what about retailers?
Right. For people who still have the product, and definitely for retailers who bought these for resale, the instruction is to pull them off the shelves immediately. Stores should return the inventory to AvCare.
And they'll get a refund.
Yes, AvCare should provide a full refund, and that includes covering the shipping costs to send the product back.
Okay, so for consumers, stop use, contact AvCare via fax or email with the info, even if the bottle's gone. For stores, pull from shelves, return to AvCare for a refund. That seems clear.
Exactly. It's all about getting these potentially risky products out of people's hands and off the market as fast as possible. Public health is the priority.
So wrapping up our deep dive here, we've covered a pretty significant nationwide recall. It affects several common over-the-counter eye drops, artificial tears, lubricant types.
That's right. And the core reason is a potential lack of sterility, flagged because of manufacturing issues found during an FDA audit.
The big takeaway for you listening has to be, take a minute, check your eye drops, compare them against that list of names and NDC numbers we gave out.
Please do. It's a simple step, but it could genuinely prevent a serious eye issue.
And if you find you have one of the recalled ones, stop using it right away. Follow those steps from BRS Analytical Service about contacting AvCare.
Mm-hmm. You know, this whole situation really does shine a light on something we don't often think about.
Yeah.
Just how critical strict quality control is, even for something seemingly simple like eye drops, and how important regulatory oversight, like from the FDA, is for keeping us safe.
It really does. It makes you pause and think about all the complex systems working behind the scenes, doesn't it? To bring even everyday items like this to us safely. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. Consider the incredible scale of pharmaceutical manufacturing today, the layers upon layers of checks and balances designed to protect us. This recall shows that even small slips, tiny deviations from those strict rules, can ripple outwards and have really widespread consequences for safety. It's a powerful reminder of why those systems matter, and maybe it sparks a little curiosity to learn more about those rigorous standards like CGMP that are constantly working, often silently, to keep us protected.